Allow me to introduce myself. I am Tinashe Mujera. I'm an author, I'm a marketplace professional, and I'm a woman of God. I am a representation of tested faith. I represent my healed wounds that left ugly scars. This is the Faith in Action podcast that has been created to help you find the journey to your true self through conversations and lessons shared. Hello, good evening, good morning, good day, everybody, depending on which part of the world you're joining us from. Welcome to the Faith in Action podcast with me, your host, Tina Mujera. Super excited once again to have you guys join in on a special episode that is I think the topic is very close and dear to my heart. We are still celebrating the month of June, which is, of course, mental wellness or mental health for men, but also Youth Month. So I think there's two things we're playing around here with, and I'm loving what we're bringing on the podcast, especially with having guests that are male that are actually bringing perspective in terms of how the dynamics and how there's changes in how fatherhood and manhood really is shaping us or shaping our communities. I'm excited once again to have a special guest by the name Nkosinathi Mahlanyana. I hope I pronounced that right. He is a conceptualizer, he's a brand designer, a blogger, a founder. He's into events and marketing. He's a father of three, so definitely experience in terms of fatherhood there. He is also the founder of a platform called Father Figure. Interesting. Father Figure, which is under the Lifa LeKhaya Foundation. And what the Father Figure platform is all about is about the father-child relationship. I'm excited because this is exactly what I think we need to hear as a society, especially in this modern day. And just looking at how, the dynamics of manhood and fatherhood are really just shifting. And I'm excited because that's our topic, the evolution of manhood into fatherhood. And we want to hear it from him since he is the one that's running this beautiful platform called the Father Figure. And he's also a father of three and he's worked in communities. I think that we don't have a better person to come through and talk to us about manhood and fatherhood. Please help me to welcome Nkosinathi to the Faith in Action podcast. Nkosi, welcome. Onati, welcome.
Hey, Tinashe, thanks for the invite. And it's so much great to be on such a platform where that allows men as well to speak out. It's like we were saying offline, is that we as men as well should create these kind of platforms ourselves, where we are able to have these conversations and dive into challenges that we face as men. So I do thank you for the invite.
Awesome. Amazing. I'm excited to have you, Nati Amase, and I can't wait for us to delve into the conversation after day and get all the wisdom from you because we have limited time, but I'm sure we won't be able to even exhaust all that you carry and have. I must really applaud you for this beautiful platform that you've created, the Father Figure, because I believe that most of the issues and you know pain and a lot of things that are coming out of society that is negative, I think comes because of the absence of the father in the home. And sharing earlier with you that even me personally, as a 35-year-old today, was even a mother. I find myself in that space where I'm still dealing with trauma from an absent dad. And I think it's these dynamics that have really just been some of the issues and like a pandemic even in society and communities that we need to unpack. So I'm really excited to have you join us. Nati, please just tell us about yourself. I know I've given a little bit of a bio, but tell the
Yeah.
people who you are, what you represent. There's a lot about you. You play soccer, you've got this, that. Please just unpack a little bit more in terms of that so that the people can get to know who Nati is. Nati, the founder of of Father Figure, is.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I think my friends that I grew up in Guguletu would be like, "Hey, soccer, when hey, hey, yeah, you're more like a water boy." I'm joking. No, man, I'm soccer. Yeah, no, for me, I'm Nati, full name Nkosinathi Mahlanyana. Born in Guguletu, which is in Cape Town, and yeah, I've been very active at a very young age, involved in quite a number of sports. Like cricket was my main sport. I think
Yes.
in terms of soccer being more social, growing up, and when I started more being like working, I then more preferred playing soccer and stuff like that. It's more shorter time and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, and I am a father of three kids. You asked earlier on what they were, what the ages are. It's 14, 6, and 5. Two boys and a girl. And yeah, so yeah, so and yeah, and I'm a brand conceptualizer. I look at what the need is out there, whether it could be in fashion or, but my heart now, it went into this where there are social issues out there that needs to be attended to. And being myself a boy from a township as well, is that you live to experience these social ills. It's not something that you research and stuff like that. In time, yes, you do research about them because you want to know more on what are the causes and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, so I am a brand conceptualizer, and the father figure brand is what stuck with me, and it's 5 years this year in November. Hope we will, yeah, I hope we will be able to see each other face to face in one of our interventions. And because there's a father figure brand, is we believe in being out there mostly than only using certain platforms that are far from people, or using talks. We want to be on the ground and making a difference and pulling people from all spheres.
Amazing. Amazing,
Mm.
Nati. Hopefully you also be coming through to Gauteng. I did see some of the work you've done in Alexandra. I was like, okay, we need more of this in Gauteng as well. So please, we will be waiting for you on the ground here in Johannesburg.
What do you
Awesome.
mean? What do you mean? I'm based in Gauteng, so it started in Cape
Are you
Town,
based
and
in
we moved to
Gauteng?
Gauteng. Yes, we moved to Gauteng 2022. We are based in
Oh,
Gauteng, and it's a strategic move, because corporate companies are here, and
yes.
things happen in Gauteng. I'm sorry for the rest of Africa in any way. This is the gateway to the world, so you have to be based here. Cape
Yeah.
Town will always be home. Cape Town will always be, because of we know of the challenges. That's what's happening in Cape
Mm,
Town. And people
mm,
from this side of the world, meaning Gauteng, is that they have this facade about what Cape Town is. But I
yeah.
promise you, Cape Town is, to put it simple, it's bad. It's bad what's happening
Mm,
to your
mm.
native people that are living within our townships.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
I'm excited and I'm glad that you guys are also already here. Then definitely we will do some stuff on the ground together. Tell me, Nati,
Definitely.
just to kick off our conversation, why why father figure? Why the name father figure? How was it born? Where did it come from? And what was that driving factor that said this is it?
Yeah. So from as I mentioned, is that from a social point of view, is that there's a need out there, is that we're living in a society where there's a huge absence of fathers. The numbers are creeping up to 70% of children that are living in homes with absent fathers. I myself is that I live with one of my kids, is but There's two on not aren't physically present with me, but uh, you play your role of being there for them and stuff like that. So we're living in a society where circumstances have created the fact that the father is not within the household. And besides the household, is that in terms of role models, we see it in our streets, in the interactions that we're talking about, whether it's in sports and stuff like that. It's I myself had the privilege of going to schools where, like multiracial schools, where you'll see parents there watching their children over a weekend, and it would be a picnic for those parents while the kids are engaging in sports. But it doesn't happen within our townships. It's not there. It doesn't happen at all. And it's easy for a child to make an excuse not to come to a game the following day, for just because of maybe being bullied on the field. But if imagine if you as a parent was there and you had experienced this, you would be able to boost the child's confidence and in making sure that they do actually attend the next time. And so it's those experiences that are there. So Father Figure is a program where we encourage men's presence in a child's life. Is that we're looking at equitable parental responsibilities? Is that how do I take me, myself, and the mother of our kid, and still have a relationship beyond what we had, which did not work out? How do we then know that we've got this new relationship that's here now that we need to attend to, which is our children?
Totally, totally. And thank you for that, Nati. For me, it's us coming into these platforms or coming onto these platforms, you creating this platform where you're talking, fathers, wake up, create that relationship with your children. Why do you feel, or why do you think that there's this need to awaken men when they know already that they are a parent and should be present? What do you think are some of the almost like blockages or some of the pressures maybe that society is extended or is set, that make men unable to live up to what they should. It's if I gave birth to a child, I'm going to be there as a mom and present without any platform telling me that, mom, please, can you take care of your child? Why do we, or why is it that when it comes now to the other side, or to the male aspect, we almost have to encourage them to be present.
Yeah.
We have to push them to be a dad and a father, and we need to awaken them. Why, when this is something should happen automatically?
Yeah, you see, as sometimes when, hence I mentioned earlier on, is that we as men have to create these platforms ourselves and have these kind of conversations ourselves, because
Mm-hmm.
it's when I'm listening to you speak, not that maybe it's coming from a personal experience from you, but I can't help whether it's what you've experienced, or it's someone else that's close to you, or in your platform, it's one of your guests have mentioned this, and you carry that. So for me, is that the question you answer, you asking is from a female's perspective. And if we're looking at geographically and how we grow up in our country, is that um, especially from a township, it it ended up being okay to have a child with someone, knowing that you're definitely not going to be living within under the same roof. It ended up being an okay thing. I'm not saying it's a right thing. I'm saying it became a norm that
Yeah.
we have, and you would be excited as a dad that I'm going to have this child and I'm going to be there. But at the end of the day, it's not, you're not going to be sleeping under the same roof as this. So we grew up in a way where even those that came before us, our uncles, our fathers, it's a trait. It's been there. It's been there. Now, if we look at um, when research says, when did this thing start? It started when black men were migrant laborers, where they stayed in hostels. It was
Mm,
okay for them to stay away from their families. They living elsewhere.
mm,
Their families, maybe it's in the Eastern Cape, but they living in a hostel in Cape Town or in a
mm,
hostel in Gauteng. And it became okay where you only see your kids now and again. Now that
mm,
thing, it as time goes, it becomes it filters down. It
mm.
filters down and it becomes a norm. And that's where we are right now. And
Yeah.
living in a society where we are men and we don't address these issues and saying, oh, well, wait a minute, there's something is not right here.
Mm,
And we see how these things are impacting us. And if you're looking at townships like where I come from, Kugule to Cape Town, is that there's even much more challenges
yeah.
with these kind of topics, with these kind of questions that you're asking, where
Mm,
it's there, it's okay. And we remember when we started the Father Figure program, it started with myself taking a few children to a library, and that
mm,
was me trying to get them away from being always on their phone, being
sure.
always in front of the TV,
Mm,
and try to introduce them to books. So we started it in Guguletu Library, and it was a fun time
mm,
where these kids would take these books home, and the stories that they would tell the following day about this what the book is about and stuff like that would be so interesting. But then we got hit by COVID. Um,
mm,
but then we had to think on our feet. How do we and then introduce men? How do we incorporate men into the program?
yeah.
And remember now this is COVID times, and yes, times later on in the year of 2020, things started to ease up, and then we made the father figure apparel. And casually is that being from the township, we started conversations where we're saying that these caps are for present fathers and stuff like that. Those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It it triggered men that saw themselves as being okay, as it being okay not being there.
Sure.
It's okay that I send 2,000 rand to the kid as long as the kid is taken care of.
Sure.
Now these men are like, I mean, we are now chilling at a place where we're having beer, but conversation is about father and kid. It
Mm,
triggered these men where they wanted to
mm,
create relationships with their children. They wanted to go back because clearly there's something that they missed. And that's
yeah.
what it was about, is that father figure is not about being a perfect father at all. It's
Wow.
about reintroducing yourself, being there. It's about
Mm,
you being willing to start a relationship where you now, doesn't matter if you missed out on 15 years of the kid's life, is that we're
mm,
here now. And this kid
mm,
needs an exemplary model that's going to be there. So it's a work in progress. So the question that you're asking me right now, I can
mm.
answer it. Maybe if we had callers on here right now, they could maybe assist in their experience. So it's an experience from one person to another,
Wow.
and there's no solution. And what we're saying
Mm,
is that we want to create platforms similar to this, and
mm,
we want to ask more questions than give out answers, because
mm.
this is a personal experience for each
Love
and
that.
every one of us.
My goodness. Sure. Wow, Nati, you really immersed yourself um in this brand really of platform father figure. I'm
Yeah.
wowed by your responses, and I'm absolutely glad that you're bringing this other side of it's not about being perfect, because even on the other side, which is being a mother and a woman, it's not about being perfect as well. It's not like we are perfect, but we are making it work. And what we're doing is trying to become better to as much as we can, really. But nobody is perfect, so I really love that insight that you are bringing in. Now, I was listening to you, and how you spoke about back then the father was away, and the father would obviously go and work somewhere. This
Mm.
was the expectation in society, in the mind somewhere, and the father maybe comes once a month, during, when he has the salary, and all he does is buys grocery, leaves you with the mom, is not present. But that was deemed and termed being fully present as a father, because the only aspect of father we looked at was the provision side. And, now that we're talking about this topic of evolving, the evolution of manhood and fatherhood. What does that evolution look like for you, and what is the direction? I know you spoke about being more present, which is, I suppose, one of the aspects. What does that evolution look like? And ultimately, in the end, what do you want to see a society become out of all the work that you are doing, and out of this movement that we're trying to drive the communities and society to?
You calling it evolution? I don't. For me personally, I wouldn't call it evolution. Evolution means that we're growing from something that is maybe that was fundamentally created, and we're moving on from there. We need to first create those fundamentals first before we saying that we evolving. And for me, fundamentals of very key. And there's no if there's there's no evolution in being a dad. Maybe there's
Mm,
adapting to,
mm,
to new ways that they are there right now. And if we saying is that we evolving, or as you mentioned again, evolution into being a better dad, then we're missing important traits that we've left behind. Besides us mentioning the fact that dads migrated and stuff like that, fathers
mm,
played a crucial role in a family life. Never mind the child. Is that you knew that, okay, this is what a father does within the home, and this is what the mom does within the home, and
mhm,
those are crucial, and those are missing right now. So if we're
mhm,
talking about evolving, what are we evolving from if we're still missing those such important criterias that we still need to look into? So we need to go
mhm,
back there first, and look into those stuff and play roles. You have to play the maternal side. I have to play the paternal side. You have to play
mm,
the nurturing part of a kid. I
mm,
need to make sure that I build a character, whether it's my boy or my girl.
mm,
So if you're basing evolution to based on that, then that's what it is. For me, is if we start to adapt to what was supposed to be, is
yeah,
then we can start in creating and saying that times are evolving. Yes, times are changing. Um, but what are our fundamentals
that's
that we are
right.
building upon? And then we can
Mm,
start talking about anything else.
mm. I love that. I love that. And thank you for sharing that insight, indeed, Nati. It's almost
Mhm.
like we're going back to the basics, to what it was
Yeah.
always,
Supposed to be.
supposed to be anyway. So we are not really making it different, but we're just saying, let's go back to the original place we were always supposed to be. And I
Yeah.
absolutely love that. Now, I want to talk about these two questions that are coming to mind now. Is the first one is the aspect of money. You spoke about sending 2,000 rands a month, and you're like,
Mm.
okay, I've done my part as a father. And you also, I was just talking to you now about how a father just brought the money at the end of the month, and that was considered the dad has done what the dad must do. And it almost forced or brought children to a place of being okay with, as long as my school fees is paid, or as long as we have food and I have a uniform that I've worn. But I believe that fatherhood is definitely beyond money and provision. And I know that most of the emphasis has gone on to provision, which I believe is, and I want to hear it from you. I think there's an error there, because we cannot just be talking about one aspect, because there is the side of, the protection side. Not even that only. The most important thing is the value of a father bringing identity to a child. Because if the father has not placed asserted you and said to you you are enough and validated you. And I was talking to you about this earlier. I feel like there's a lot of brokenness that just comes onto a child. And I, for one, for example, I feel like my dad was never present. He never asserted me, and I struggled growing up. I really did struggle. I
mm,
had everything. I can't say I did. I actually had more then than now. I drove a car at 16, 15, 16. I had a phone, like literally the good life. But something was
soft
not
life.
right inside the soft life. But inside I was broken, Nati. And
Yeah.
it didn't help that I then went to a girls only school. But
Mm,
even in a girls only school, I still struggle to find me, to find
mm,
who I am, and my identity. Really, who am I? You at that time the question doesn't come like that. It only dawns on you now, or at least for the years that I've been doing the work, that actually, who was I? I didn't even know who I was. And I think that brokenness and trying to identify in everyone was that question that I had in me, but did not know how to articulate or understand or become aware of. So,
mm.
beyond money, let's talk beyond provision.
Sure.
What is it that we need from a father?
You need character. The money part is, like, I can ask it I can say it in a question, is that who does the money go to? It goes to the mom, right?
Mm,
So the kid is taken care of. In your instance, you get to learn to drive a car at a young age and stuff like that. But you still had a missing element in your life, and you missed a human being. You
yeah.
missed someone that is supposed to build that character, to give confidence in your life.
Mm,
Someone that would show you what are the traits of a man. Not that when you grow up you're going to look for a partner that's like your dad, but it
mm,
gives you the knowledge of knowing of this is what an expectation from a man is. This is how I treat a man as well. The
mm,
element of respect, which goes both ways.
yeah.
We're living in a society today where, I'm sorry to say, but women they have this disrespect within men.
Mm,
Some, if we're looking at from social media's perspective, is that we that women would find that they're entitled to certain stuff. If you were to
mm,
dig deeper into their lives, is that there's a missing element that they had in their lives, and
mm,
now is that here comes shame. This child now, this man that they have in their life, and they're trying to throw everything that they missed out on from childhood
sure,
out of this guy right now here.
sure.
Whereas you
Mm,
missed this when you were supposed to have it at a young age
mm,
and stuff like that. My baby girl is 5, um, and first I call her I would tell her, hello my darling, hello my love, hello
mm,
this, and the boys would like, yeah, but you love her more. I'm like, no, it's not that I love you more. I give you guys much more tough love, but the
yeah.
traits that or how I engage with her, it is
Mm,
going to be different. When I engage with you guys, all three of you as my children, it's the same.
mm,
But there are certain now elements that I need to instill in you differently. Even the
mm,
two boys themselves, is that the eldest is 14 and the other one is 8. I mean, it's
mm,
6. The way
mm,
that I speak to the eldest one now, it has changed because I see that he addresses life in a different way. He's going to a stage where children find that, okay, I don't need him. I know a lot in life right now where I can consult with this guy if I have to. So in a way now, it's not going to be the same as the younger boy.
mm,
And so as
mm,
I treat all three kids as well, it's not going to be the same as much as I treat the girl as well. Is that
mm,
even with her, is that I'm trying to teach her. It's going to get to a time now within, as she's growing up. I'm going to tell her that I need to teach her not only responsibility and independence, but independence in the sense of there are certain stuff that you need to be able to take care of yourself. And should there be a man in your life, you don't rub that in his face that I'm an
Mm,
individual where I was raised by my father to be in that way. No, 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 no. Is that now
mm,
you've met a man, the same respect that you've provided him with. Now here's another man that you should be provided with. And if we
mm,
grow our woman to be in that manner, is that
mm,
I'm going to be killed by your by your viewers, but those are the women that end up being married and
yeah.
stuff like that. It's what to teach a girl child is that element of respect from both ways, is that you give respect, you will receive respect. You don't wait for respect first to
Mm,
receive respect in order to be respected. And that's
mm,
how it is. So it's a shame when it finds that is that in a situation where like you, in fact, it's not even a shame the fact that you are a woman that says that missed a father figure element in her life, but is still able to stand up and saying that I want to resolve these issues because these issues should end with me.
mm,
I've got a lady friend is that her father passed away before she was born,
sure.
and she's an advocate of father figure.
Wow.
Not only that her father was that she's never met her father, but
Wow.
the father of her kid is never there, he's absent, but she's still an advocate. So twice she's experienced the absence of
Mm,
her father. Her father came,
mm, mm,
unfortunately, he passed
mm,
away. But
mm,
now the father of her kid, he is absent. But she
mm,
stands there and she advocates for this movement because she says that it ends with her. These
mm,
experiences are going to end with her. So Nati, what's
mm.
the way forward? How can we
Yes.
advocate as women for
Yeah.
father figures? And that's the evolution that you were talking about in the previous
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do we help women evolve into knowing that in order for us to change our societies, is that we at the end of the day is that we have to find a way of working together because
Mm,
these are our kids.
yeah.
Our
Yeah,
kids.
we definitely need each other, Nati.
Yeah,
It's not
definitely.
one-sided. The nurturing aspect that I bring as a mom is not it's not the role of a father. And that identity that you place on a child is not my role. Even as much as I want to do that, I can never give
Yeah.
it to the child. I can only play my role. So yes, we might be able to take care of the kids and take them to school as single mothers or independent women, so they say, but we can never play the role that is a father in these kids' lives. And I think that's where we need even role models. And I guess this is one of the questions I also wanted to ask you about, just role models in society, because there's the absent father, and then there's also the absence of actually quality role
Mm.
models or father figures in society in general. Because in an instance where you are a single mother or you are raising a child on your own, um, where then in society do you then get a place where you can get role models that are fathers? And I suppose that is what you're also
Mm.
going after with the father figure platform. Is we need more role models where we can take these young girls to that role model and say, hey, please
Yeah.
speak to her and accept her, tell her she's enough. Because when I
Mm.
tell her she can't hear it, tell him that everything is going to be okay, that he doesn't have to do drugs, that he can
Yeah.
speak out his emotions, he can be vulnerable as a boy child, but he has a safe space in you. Is where, because we lack these role models. I don't know, Nati, you tell us. We
Yeah.
lack these role models in society. Yeah.
Us as you see, the fact that we've started this conversation, no matter how few we were, there's not there's more programs that are out there that are similar to what we have. And I always tell people the more the merrier, because
Mm,
it means that the others will touch where I don't, where
mm,
I haven't been, or where father figure hasn't been.
mm,
Others will have a different approach to what we have. As I mentioned
mm,
to you earlier, when is that we believe in engagements, and so you've probably see on social media is that we're playing soccer and we're raising we're raising funds, or we're collecting
mm,
these donations.
Mhm.
And it's so beautiful to see that it's men, men from
Mhm.
township, guy. It's men
I
from
was
township.
shocked.
And I was like, yo, I was like, it's just you
Yeah.
don't. People ask you what do you think of the day? I'm like, just look for yourself. Just look for
Yeah.
yourself. The guy that you probably would look in the streets and run away from, he's carrying a packet of nappies and he's saying that I'm
Yeah.
donating these and I'm going to make a change. So
Mhm.
it is one to start, and there's where the role
Mm,
model is. It happens indirectly at times.
mm.
I never wanted to be called father figure, but when I'm at home in Cape Town, I'm called father figure, I'm called father, and this kind of stuff. Like, don't call me
Mm.
father. It makes me think of church now.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is that we've started a platform and
Mm,
we've looked at father figure, we've divided into different interventions. The one
mm.
you recently viewed or seen now on social media was our father figure diaper drive,
Yes.
and we started it on the 15th of December, and we planned to run it until the end of March, but it kind
Mm,
of carried on. And people
mm,
just wanted it to carry on and stuff like that. We can't say to people, no, don't donate more nappies. And the
mm.
guys from Cape Town, the one that you saw in Cape Town, that wasn't even initiated by father figure, believe it or not. It was initiated by those guys from Cape
Wow.
Town. They said, Nati, we see what you're doing,
Wow.
and this is what we're going to be doing. Come over, come be here,
Wow.
because people recognize this. They know your face in it. And I said,
Sure.
definitely, I'm coming. And
Wow.
and we were there, and we and pulled in some more resources from that side. People that
Beautiful.
are left running the father figure program in Cape Town as well. Said
Mm,
that not we've got we've got donations from Clicks. We've got
sure.
ShopRite coming into the picture, pulled in by
Yeah.
people saying that, listen, here's it. Let's do this thing. So what I'm saying is that it's we as the father figure program didn't have to initiate some of the stuff. Now the more we
Mm,
present ourselves and being out there, is that the more
mm,
people are going to are going to come out and saying that we're raising our hands. There's so much interventions that we wanted to do, that some of them, because of needing that extra funding
mm,
or injection from somewhere, we had to postpone. We postponed one last year, which was at the end of November, where we were
mm.
going to do a walk with my father, and
Wow.
because of certain challenges we couldn't, and that was financial challenges that we had, we couldn't,
Mm,
but we want to do. So they're not, we haven't packed that our way and said we're not going to do it. It's
mm,
this thing is still going to carry on. You were surprised to know that father figure is almost 5 years, but it's still there. It lives. It's there. So what I'm so to go back to your question is that the more men create such interventions, we as father figure are here. We're putting up our hand and saying that we're going to support any initiative
mm,
that has the same objectives as ours.
mm,
The objectives of empowering men. Empowering a
mm,
man is not only giving empowering someone financially, but it's just making them being aware that your presence is needed in your child's life. Number one,
mm,
if you have the capacity of being out there, your presence is needed by someone's child that has never seen or doesn't know what the role of a father is, and
mm,
those kind of stuff. So the more we present ourselves and being out there, we're going to make this change. And
mm.
we've done a lot in this almost 5 years.
That's right. That's right. And thank you, Nati, for that. And I just want to go back to a place where you said it's not about being perfect, but also picking that and just tying it into this question where I'm just listening to you. What comes to mind is it takes a man who has healed or in the process of healing, who's self-aware, who understands to be able to partner in this sort of sort of initiatives. Is there a division in father figure where you also are mentoring, bringing men and creating a safe space, rather, maybe, where they are made aware, because they cannot run this without an awareness of the importance. And I take it that, some of them that do not do it is because they themselves were hurt by fathers,
Mm.
because this is for both male and female children. And if a father is absent, he's absent in a family where there's male and female children. And the way we respond is different. What happens with women is we normally step up and become these strong women that we're
Yeah.
talking about now. But with men, they normally then go drugs, they go, substance abuse, and they just become chaotic. They don't want to go to school. It becomes just difficult to manage. Is there a place to, in the father figure, on the father figure platform, where you also deal with those issues, and at least to mobilize more men to come to the party, make them self-aware, heal them, and empower them?
Yes, we creating that platform. A program in it's a platform in progress.
All right.
However, is that in anything that you engage in as anyone, you need to first self heal. You need
Mm,
to saying that I'm ready to take on this journey of saying that this is what I've went through,
mm,
um, and I'm here to assist. And with me having gone through this, is that I'll be able to use it as an example to how both of us can heal. So someone people tend to open up more, knowing that you've once been where I am, or you're
yeah.
feeling the pain that I feel. Yeah.
Mm,
So we're building a father figure network as well, where we're still
mm,
defining in a way, with my
mm,
team in Johannesburg. We're defining
mm,
on what it is that um, what it entails. Yeah. So we're currently
mm,
busy as well with my marketing strategy. The team is going to
mm,
kill me, because they've been asking me not to be we're changing our marketing strategies and stuff like that. And I haven't, because of the situation I spoke of to you earlier on, is that
yeah.
I haven't really gotten to the time. But we're using this
Mm,
space, this time where we really need to know what father figure is about
mm,
before, even if we're saying that someone else should come and saying that we want to partner with father figure, we have something of this nature, so we can say no, this is this is what it's within our line, as I mentioned earlier on. Is part of our objectives or not. We just don't
mm,
jump into anything. So, but what we're
mm,
saying is that we want to create a network where there's fathers who can, for
mm,
fathers that who cannot.
mm, mm, mm,
It's
mm, mm,
those there, and when we say we can as well, one would think that we're talking about you are a father who can, in terms of you are financially able
mm,
to assist. It's not only
mm,
there, is that the people that are the pilots that have flown planes into a mountain because of distress, stuff that's happened at
yeah.
home, and like
Yeah.
so, and those kind of stuff that we have to deal with our men issues, and they
Mm,
don't they don't originate from a township only. They in Hyde Park
mm.
as well. They in Constantia. They
Yeah.
everywhere. Those issues.
I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they there. So when we're talking about absent fathers or men that has issues, it's in every sphere of life.
That's right.
So
Love
when we
it.
say
I love
fathers who
it.
can and fathers who
Mm,
cannot, it's generally spread, and
mm,
and we need to come together and saying that, okay, how do we attend to this kind of man that has this issue?
mm,
But here's the thing: is that was as well with men, is that yes, we do have men's conferences. Yes, women when you there's a men's conference I attended in when I got back from Cape Town in April.
mm,
It wasn't filled to capacity. It was packed. Don't get me wrong. It was packed, but it had great potential. There was missing elements. Like, damn,
mm.
if this was a woman's event,
Yeah.
um, cars would be parked. You'd swear there's. I promise you. So yeah. So there wasn't. It wasn't. It didn't have that that vibration that you knew that tickles you like, yo, this I can feel it. That didn't have that.
mm,
Um, and we haven't gotten there yet. That's why, because at times is
mm,
that we avoid talking about our issues when
mm,
something happens in a way where we have to speak directly. We
mm,
avoid those issues. So how
mm,
do we then, we're sitting at a point where how do we have to engage but indirectly, maybe
mm,
playing soccer together and stuff like that,
mm.
maybe
Yeah.
having a braai, having a picnic, having a camp with our kids.
Mm,
We tackle issues. So we cannot take a memorandum of we can look at women and say that um, what you guys are doing is formidable. It's great, but we cannot copy and paste your manual and use it
mm,
as on our side and stuff
mm,
like that. But we have to start somewhere. And from me, what I've me personally, what I've experienced is that we need to start it indirectly, and that's how guys are. We tend
mm.
to attend things casually. That's why there's boys clubs,
Yes.
and it's
Yeah.
it's we deal with things differently
Yeah.
at all. Yeah. And if that works, and we've seen that it works in any other thing that we do, why don't we apply it as well when it comes to bettering ourselves for the greater good, for our societies, for our children, for our families.
Mm.
So yeah.
Awesome. Love it. I love where you're going with this. It's really going to explode. I'm already seeing big things. I'm envisioning as you speak a bright men gathering, all races, different ages, get those with wisdom coming to share. And it's true, men love it casual. The
Yeah.
moment you make it formal and strict and serious, oh my God, you've lost them already. Whereas we want to dress up and it's formal and we are
Mm.
all in the and I guess also that is also almost disappearing, I must say, with the rise of so many women's conferences. A lot of women are actually they're not engaged anymore. I, for one, I'll speak for myself and some of my friends, is we don't attend anymore because it's become too much and most of it is more motivation. We want even smaller spaces where maybe in my house you come, we sit, we have tea and biscuits,
Yeah.
but we are all being vulnerable and authentic. And I think that's the
Mm.
element that's needed. Vulnerability, authenticity is what
Yeah.
society needs right now. It's not about what did you come wearing, because then it becomes competition and I can't keep up with outfits every week. It's too expensive. I just want a
Yeah.
place where I can be and we can talk and resolve and get empowered. So Nati, now going into your own personal space and you as a dad, who you are, your fatherhood journey, your manhood journey. I just want to deep dive a little bit into your own journey and ask about who your role model was. Did you ever have one? Was your dad present? um I mean, the work that you're doing really is big. It's a lot. It's a big thing. It's, yeah, on your shoulders. And I just want to understand, from you, and hopefully that it can help another man, woman listening out there to say, it's like you said, it's not about, I guess, being perfect, but it's not about having all the resources and everything in place. um
Mm.
how has that journey been for for you? One, from where you come from, you entering into a space of being dad and maybe partner. Please walk us through that.
Yeah. So answer the simple part of it first. Yes, my dad has always been there since birth.
Wow.
He told a great story of of my experience, especially like now I was in Cape Town because of the diaper drive. So he asked my dad is someone that is you have to you really have to ask yourself, Ish, I wonder why he's asking this question. This guy, what is he?
Yeah, what is he on
Yeah,
to?
it's one of those people that ask you like you don't know if it's a trick question or he's yeah. So he's always been there, and I'm someone that's very in touch with nature. So and when I say nature is that I'm a spiritual person, but I'm not religious in the same
Mm,
breath. I
mm,
grew up in church.
mm,
from a very young age. And one of the stuff that I would say about church is that what I enjoyed more is the hymns, and the people that were more in the surroundings. Is that so? I'm a people's person, and and I'm someone that trusts first and get disappointed later. Yeah. Then my current business partner now is the opposite. He says I first distrust, and then you have to prove it to me. Yes, but
Good one.
it's just the way I am. Is that I trust, and then if you want to disappoint me, it's okay.
Mm,
So I've got that element of loving people, and so the men within my life, um, whether it was in church, whether it was in sport, uh, I got exposed. I believe in exposure, and those are one of the objectives of father figure is expose children to anything. Take a child to a place they've never been to. I
mm,
promise you, that's going to turn that child's life upside down. It's going to turn 360, huge 360. That child's life is changed
mm,
immediately. Yeah. Take them anywhere. Take them to Table Mountain. Take them to anyway. If they've never been there, they're going to come back and they're going to tell stories about it. They changed. I promise you. So that was what what helped me become and shape and mold who I am. Is that I was lucky to be exposed to a lot of stuff. Smallest thing like traveling from Guguletu to a town by train.
mm,
I still make example of those. Is that that's a journey that of not saying that someone that grows up within a township that the school was just next door to your house is a much more better or privileged than them. No, it's not that. It's just that is that I've got more exposure of being around people that I don't grow up with.
mm,
I'm meaning that I'm learning new cultures. I'm learning new ways and stuff. That's a lesson of life. I promise you, you will
mm.
it will it will- you will implement it some way somehow in your life.
True.
So yeah, that's the thing. And I someone that believes in that everything happens for a reason. And so the example that I was making of my dad earlier on, he mentioned that what's this thing of this diaper drive? This and I was like, it's a thing that we've seen it's there, it's needed. As much as sanitary towels, and it's a need. It's children. It's there. It's one of societal challenges. And it's like, no, I'm asking you because of. Are you sure your mom hasn't told you anything? I'm like, my mom. And my mom was sitting there. So he
Yeah.
tells the story that no, what happened is um, the weekend I was born on a Monday. So the weekend before they went to go buy this stuff that a kid needs, a child, baby, an infant needs, and so. But they couldn't find what was required. So they said, okay, they'll go the following day in the afternoon. And on that day, he never slept at his mom's house. He slept at his granny's house that evening. And then I was born in the early hours of the
Mm,
Monday morning with nothing. Born, taken to hospital, born in hospital. So someone eventually found where he was because he wasn't at home, and said, "Hey, your girlfriend gave birth, my man." And the first thing he says that you're like, "Yo, the kid doesn't have anything to wear." So when he got to the hospital, is I was wrapped in towels and
mm.
no kids, no clothing, no stuff like that. So
Wow.
that was like, and I was for me, it was at your blood was rushing through me. I was like, what?
Goodness.
So maybe that's how the diaper drive was born.
There we go.
So that's why we never know. Then maybe
We do.
that's how it
Mm.
was. So he thought that my mom told me the story, and I took it. I'm like, okay, no other kid is gonna grow experience what I had.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, and so I'm that person that I'd like to make a change in anything that I get involved in, whether from simplest thing of playing sports. Um, While I was working and I was playing in sports, I make sure that I play sports in township. Um, in school, I played sports for white clubs. And but when I started working, I'm like, no, I'm going back to Gugulethu. I'm going to play there, and I would
Mm,
help where I could if I can afford to buy myself new cricket gear. I would give away to a kid.
mm,
When playing soccer as well, I would make sure that the team has cones, soccer cones. I would make sure that we've got
mm,
bibs. Just look presentable, and the stuff
mm,
I want to do for
mm,
for for, for in sports. So this father figure thing is it's yes, it's a brand, it's an organization, it's a movement more than anything. But is that
mm,
I live it. I live it. It's
mm,
not just a concept that's going to be here and it's going to be gone tomorrow. No,
mm,
I live
mm,
it.
mm. And to your kids, just that relationship, or rather how that has changed you as a man, maybe.
But my kids,
Yeah.
yeah. So the
Coming into
relationship with
fatherhood.
yeah. So the relationship with me and my dad wasn't that great. He's a role model of mine. Is that but someone that I was scared of. I must say, till
Mm,
until today, I'm a 41-year-old, but my relationship with my dad is not at it, it's not at its best. Where I can say that I've never even said I love you to my dad or vice versa.
mm,
If he said it, maybe he was tipsy and stuff like that. Uh, but my
mm,
kids, it's a sec, it's every second word I speak to them is I love you. You haven't given me a hug today. You haven't kissed
mm,
me. I don't want to speak to you because of it's that you
mm,
just naturally just show children love,
mm,
and
mm,
if they know that they've been loved at home, is that why
mm,
seek it elsewhere? Not that you're
mm,
spoiling a kid, but it's
mm,
remember we're going back to those fundamentals. Is that
mm.
um, I'm living something that I'm out that I'm living or being something out there that I know that I've received at home.
True.
So yeah,
Sure. Interesting, Nati. And we're running short of time. I think we left with less than
yeah,
5 minutes here. And you already tap into something very powerful, vulnerability to an extent of saying I love you. And these are some of the
mm,
biggest things that in our Black culture we also just never talk about. You can't take,
mm,
people. I don't remember my dad too saying I love you at any point before he
yeah,
died. And I was laughing at my aunt who said for the first time in her life, she said to her father, who is now 100 years old, I love you.
yeah,
I don't know if he even had, because now he's got a hearing issue. But she
yeah,
said
yeah.
it was one of the bucket list things. Imagine putting
Yeah,
it
to
on
say
bucket list to say,
on
I
the
must say,
bucket
I love
list.
you, which is
Mm,
something that must happen naturally. Nati, I want
mm.
to just touch on two last questions. First is brotherhood and friendship, and that how that has impacted your life, how that has built father figure platform, and why it's important for men to get into a space of embracing brotherhood and friendship.
Yeah, so it's pivotal. It's important. It what makes
Mm,
in things easy,
mm,
and I think it's something I would have mentioned with the previous question as well. Is that I see it amongst my friends as well. That they same traits that they show they children love, and it's in this generation of ours right now. Even if someone is not present
mm,
or wasn't present in their kids' lives, is that exposure to what we're building.
mm,
It's people are willing to learn. They're presenting themselves. They're not, how can I be part of this? I want to wear this cap as well because I want to I want to show off
mm,
fatherhood from my perspective.
mm,
And so we're building a brotherly love movement here.
mm,
And as I say is that if you live something, it becomes a brand,
mm,
and it starts rubbing off from people. Um,
mm,
and however, on the contrary to that, is that I don't want people to see me as being father figure. The father figure is a movement on its own. One day it has to carry on when I'm not there as well. I've got
mm,
I've got a great team that I work with, and
mm,
these guys have stories to tell themselves. And even now, before I engaged in this, when I received the invite from you guys yesterday, I consulted with them and I asked them, are there any things that they would like to mention or
Mm.
edit, or send through that would like me to talk about.
Oh.
So it's there, and it shouldn't be about myself. Is that even some interviews that 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 we have, it shouldn't just be my face that shows up.
Mm.
It should be their faces as well, because they need to tell the story of brotherhood, tell the story of
Mm.
fatherhood from
Mm.
their perspective. This thing is that in when we talk about these or about such topics, is that it shouldn't be, although we should have a manual, or not necessarily a manual, because it's a movement, it's an organization. There should be one script that we speak from. But
Mm.
when you, the listener, it should feel you should feel the emotion coming from the person that that you're speaking to, and that shouldn't resonate from me as Nati only. It should be from everyone that is involved within the program, everyone
Mm.
that's not within the program itself, but they are people that identify as being father figure, people that are there out there that we interact with. They should
Mm.
they should carry this movement and live it within
Mm.
their
That's
own
right.
spaces as well. So yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, we're
Sure.
all about brotherhood.
Love it. I love it for the brotherhood. I love it for the friendship.
Yeah.
Listen, Natty, time is not on our side. It's gone,
Mm,
gone, gone. How I
mm,
wish these conversations can continue and continue because, like I said in the beginning, there's so much wisdom I believe you carry, and I've heard it already. And this is such a beautiful movement that you have started, and we just pray that it spreads out like a wildfire because we do need men to be empowered, to find safe spaces, to become better for the sake of us older women, for the sake of the next generation of
yeah.
children that we're trying to raise to be better and to bring that healing, that identity that we spoke about. In closing, Nati, your last parting words to young men out there facing complexities of adulthood.
Mm,
You did say that father figure is a movement and it's a bigger legacy that needs to be left behind. I mean, you guys in the next 10, 15, you'll be older and you obviously need the younger ones to carry on with this and you just sit back and watch them, do the work. What does that look like and how are you, it's almost like giving them the button stick. Last parting words to them and how you're carrying them with into this movement that you are driving. And also just to let the viewers and the listeners know where they can find you, how they can also contribute to this. I'm sure there's other people that are really keen on, being a part of this movement, wanting to contribute and lend a helping hand wherever and however they can in this beautiful movement you're driving.
yeah. So we're so blessed that this year the Father's Day was on Youth Day, and if we're looking at Youth Day, is that if you're looking at youth is between the ages of 16, I think, up to 35,
Mm,
and that's the time where most people have had kids, had children.
mm,
And if that's most people had children within those years, that's as well where this absenteeism we're experiencing as well is happening as well, of
mm,
absent fathers. So I'm glad that didn't get a chance to have this to send this message out there. Is that if you're in a youth, you are youth and you don't have a kid right now, first take care of yourself.
mm,
Um, Being a father is an absolute great thing, but it's great to have to be a father that's there, knowing that you'd be able to take care of your offspring financially and in every way and give them your undivided attention.
mm,
So don't rush into it. And to those youth that do have that are found themselves to be fathers, whether it was planned or unplanned, is that present yourself is that father being a father is it shouldn't be perfect. I'm not a perfect father, nor do I strive to be perfect. I don't want to be
mm,
perfect. It means that I leave no room for growth. I leave no room to learn from my children, to learn from my brothers out there. I'm always, as I said, is that we're creating a platform where we ask more questions, where we can, and where we be based on the fact that we are creatives within our spaces. We will create programs where people can interact with us. And however, even still, we want them to to express themselves in anything that we do bring across to them. So that's my message to South Africa right now. And I mentioned South Africa, not Africa, is because we the ones that are living this kind of Western life where things are deteriorating here mostly than in any other country in Africa. We're one of two countries in Africa that really don't are not there or taking responsibility of what we've created. So yeah, so we are out, we there, we are on social platforms, we on Instagram, Facebook. We've got an email address as well, which is info@fatherfigure.org.za. You can send us an email if you want to contact with us, if you want to engage with us, if you want to talk to us about anything. We are open. Um, yeah, especially if I think we've spoken about what our objectives are, and those objectives is to empower men so that they can be there for their children, so that they can be there for themselves. In fact, you need to take care of yourself first before you can take care of anyone else. So we are there on all those social platforms. There's our beautiful logo behind me, Father Figure out there. So
Love
yeah, you
it.
can't miss that logo. Even if you have amnesia, there's no way that you can ever forget that logo.
Absolutely love it. Nati, thank you so much for honoring this invite and coming to share your wisdom, particularly in this month of June, where we want to raise the awareness of, men's mental health, Youth Day, and empowering the youth. It's important that we speak of these, platforms, and we raise the awareness, especially for men, to say, hey, you're not alone. There is spaces like these that, people have paved or have started that will really help in building better society, a better community for us in South Africa. Nati, thank you once again for this time, for your wisdom, for this
Yeah,
beautiful movement that you've started, that we also are going to be going after. We are part of this. We're not missing this.
Alala.
We also want to advocate for this. It's a good movement and we can't
Yeah,
be left behind. So you must know we are right here if you need us to
definitely,
support in the
definitely.
movement. We will share his handles, his email address, so that you guys can have can get in contact or in touch with him if you need to be. And yeah, there you have it, Faith in Action podcast listeners. Another beautiful episode with Nati from the Father Figure. An important topic that we were really unpacking today that I think is really needed at this point in time in society. And I'm so glad that we are able to get men that are rising up and that are speaking about these important and crucial issues that will bring healing to our society, because what we need right now is restoration and healing. And there we have it, people that are already going after such a movement. Let's support him. Let's support this beautiful work. And if you need to get in touch with Nati, please don't hold back. Let's do this because we need each other. It's not about a one-man show, but it's about us as a community and as a society. Until we meet again next time on another inspiring episode, it's goodbye for now from me, your host, Tina Mujera. Nati, please stay on the line, but it's goodbye for, I think, to our listeners and viewers from you as well. Thank you all for joining, and the wrap.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Tinashe Mujera. I'm an author, I'm a marketplace professional, and I'm a woman of God. I am a representation of tested faith. I represent my healed wounds that left ugly scars. This is the Faith in Action podcast that has been created to help you find the journey to your true self through conversations and lessons shared.